Welcome, friends. This is Janine Pettit, founder of Girl Camper, editor-in-chief of Girl Camper magazine, and I am here with one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, Mike Harlan, general manager of North Trail RV down in Fort Myers, Florida, and we've got breaking news for the Girl Camper community because the Fort Myers RV show is coming up, and you're invited. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. I am here with my friend Mike Harlan, and I'd like you to meet him. Mike, welcome to the Girl Camper podcast.
Well, thank you, Janine. I love to be back on the show again. It's been quite a few years since you've had me on, but I still listen to the podcast quite often, and I'm honored to be here.
Well, Mike, I think longtime listeners of the Girl Camper podcast will know this is not your first rodeo here with us. You've been on before. But for new listeners, I tell everybody about the history you and I have because you played a very big role in the founding of Girl Camper. And that goes back to Ohio when you were the general manager at Haydacy. Is it Haydacy Airstream or was it Haydacy RV?
We can see Airstream on RV, actually.
In Columbus, Ohio.
Yes.
I met you there.
Yes. Actually, you met me a little prior to that at the Country Living Fair at the Ohio Historical Center.
Yes. So every year they used to put on this event. I wish they would bring that back. It was so much fun, wasn't it?
It was.
It was always in the fall in that historical center there, which is right where Ohio State plays. It's where the stadium is. They kind of share a parking lot there.
It's very close. A lot of people park there to go to the stadium. Yes, at the fairgrounds exit.
Right. And it wasn't just a big show every year of artisans, food, crafts. And we used to do a display there for Go RVing. And you had an Airstream that you brought over from Haydacy. And I looked at it and I thought, I had not been inside an Airstream in probably 20 years. And you were sitting in it. And I walked in, you didn't know me from Adam. And I said, oh my gosh, like people do when they walk in an Airstream. It's like a work of art. And I walked in and you said, welcome home.
Well, that's exactly right. You had the display space right across, and it seemed like everybody knew you. They knew those vintage trailers that you had over there. You had a Campground over there, and I think an old Shasta over there.
Yeah.
And I think one other one, and they looked, they were at least 40 years old at the time, and they looked brand new. They were brand new vintage. But
Yeah.
But they were all fully functioning 30, 40, 50-year-old Can-Ham trailers, and I think they got more of attention than the Airstreams did.
Well, I mean, and why not? I mean, because, we were showing off the Girl Camper community. We were recruiting people, and we all at the time went with vintage campers. But you, businessman that you are and general manager that you are, said, but we've got these cute little new camps. And at the time, it wasn't new camp. It was
Little guy.
little guy. These cute little guys. And so finding a vintage trailer, restoring it, making sure it's roadworthy, it's kind of all too much, And if you buy one that's completely restored, you're probably paying more for it than you would for something that's brand new. And you invited our community over to Haydacy RV for what we now know was the very first Girl Camper College.
Yeah, and it was phenomenal and so inspiring to us. We did something out of the norm. We everything when you came to the dealership at that time was all about sales. I made it a point to make sure that everybody knew this wasn't about sales. This was about people who were afraid or had the idea to go on the road, but didn't have confidence in themselves that they could hitch up, they can drive. And we did all that day. We had people hitching up, we had people taking test drives, practice backing up, and these women, married or not married, with somebody else or without somebody else, it empowered a lot of people to know that they could do this.
And I remember that first event where you were quite clear with everyone, this is not a sales event, this is informational. And you had a little like quarter-mile track behind the dealership there,
Correct.
and you had women hitching up, taking it off, putting it back on, just showing like, yeah, you just need to know what the steps are. And then the women who actually got behind the tow vehicle and drove it around the loop back there, you were giving them T-shirts
We did, and it's
for prizes and good food.
and yeah, and the humanity part of it, to see halfway around the trip, to see their face light up after they stopped and started, and to see their face light up, it was like night and day. I can do this. I can turn.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it became a thing where people asked us again, "When are you going to do this again? When are you going to do this again?" And we're giving your name and number and everything, but I still have remnants of those things like this. Or, vintage if you want to. This is
There we are. Yeah. A little higher. There it is. I think you have one of, that might even be a prototype. You got one of the original girl camper mugs made in West Virginia.
and it follows me. I look at it. I look at it every day. This girl camper right in front. I don't ever want to forget that there are still those people that will come in and have no idea that they can do this. And it's a pipe dream that can become a reality. And I tell so many people, look up Janine Pettit. Look at Girl Camper. Look up Girl Camper. She had been part of some other organizations, but Girl Camper is the go-to. It has become the Webster's dictionary of how to do this by yourself and meet up with friends and talk around the campfire, but you don't need someone else in the car.
Right.
In order to get there, in order to do this yourself. And you were the catapult that took those women afraid to do it on their own and gave them an avenue to feel confident enough. And I will tell you that first camper college, somebody has bought 3 Airstreams. Started with the little guy,
Yeah.
and now I've had 3 Airstreams. And
Yeah.
they followed me down here and bought in South Florida. From seeing your posts and my posts,
Yeah.
they came here and got them, and that's a good byproduct of what we actually taught people to do that day.
Well, Mike, I'm so glad you brought that up because, well, I've never gotten rid of my Airstream dream, and maybe that's still in my future, and I will be down to North Trail. We're take a message here from our friends at Lippert, but when I come back, that's what I want to talk about. And it's a conversation you and I have had many, many times. What makes a good RV dealership? And we're going to talk about that. And the fact that someone came back 3 times, that's trustworthy. That's trust. And hosting something like a camper college to just say, here, let's demystify trailer ownership and trailer operation. Let's give the consumer confidence. So when they do buy, it's not going to be a white knuckle experience for them. So we're going to come back in a minute and we're going to talk about the qualities of a good RV dealership. We'll be right back.
Make it a trip to remember and leave your worries behind. The Rockerball Trailer Ball is built to get you and your loved ones there comfortably and safely. Its dynamic cushion technology is proven to reduce jerking, jarring, and road noise, giving you the control and confidence to enjoy every mile along the way. Pass on the spirit of adventure with a Curt Rockerball.
Okay, we're back, everybody. I just want to thank our friends at Lippert/Curt. They make so many great products. And you want to talk about confidence when you know you've got someone behind you that is very involved in the industry and very involved in innovation. It makes your experiences out on the road just calmer, more peaceful. You've got a whole network and team behind you. So thank you, Lippert. Mike, I think back to those old days and I'm so grateful to you because really the idea for Girl Camper was yours. And because you said, why don't you come out with your friends? And we were all camping there in the they have a parking lot there with some facilities at the Country Living Fair where you can have plug-ins and they have a bathroom there. So we had a bunch of us camping there and then we all jumped in the car after the show and we went over to Haydassy and you had a food truck there, you treated us like queens, we had so much fun. So that was the genesis of what Girl Camper began doing, and the whole point of Camper College was to demystify it, and I always make this analogy. My mom lives in Texas, and she has a built-in pool with a hot tub, and I see her out there, and she's got hoses, and she's backwashing, and she's testing things, and I think to myself, I could never have a built-in pool. That looks like a lot of stuff you have to do. And I kind of thought of trailers, RVs, as the same, all these hoses and plumbs and things. Well, then we got out to your place and it was like, here's where the water goes in. Here's how you get the water out. And I was like, that's it. I mean, I just thought it was a lot harder. So with a camper college, that's what our goal was. And as a dealership, you were willing to invest that time in people who weren't there to buy, but they were there to learn. So talk to us about what your mindset as a general manager was when you're given your time and energy and keeping people after hours to make that happen.
Well, if you look at it in the sense that there was a plaque on the wall at my junior high school, and it said "Knowledge is power,"
Mm-hmm.
and I thought for a long time that that was the truth. But what I've come to know is shared knowledge is more power.
Mm.
And if you give if just a little bit of everybody's knowledge, I would be Einstein, right? I mean, I would be out there. But on the other hand, the hands-on showing people how to enjoy this lifestyle, and this lifestyle has come a long way, and it's got a long way to go.
Mhm.
But when you can show someone that this is how easy it is. This
Mhm.
is this is not long division. It's not rocket science. It should be a euphoric event, not something that is dreading.
Yeah.
So the part about teaching people that should really be set aside from your sales ability because you want people to enjoy this industry. You want people to enjoy this lifestyle that has always been dreamed of or idolized. Oh, they've got this big RV. I don't care if you are camping in a tent, low dive, or new camp, or Airstream, or a Newmar motorhome. It should be an enjoyable it should be an enjoyable event. It shouldn't be something that's very difficult for you to enjoy. So the more of that you can share, the better someone's going to be if they buy from you or not. The better this industry is going to be. And if I decided to leave the bank and tip my toe into this business back in 2004, it is it's an all in for me. It's not like I'm going to show you this if you give me your hard earned money. This is something that I've got to leave a mark on that's going to better the industry. And if I can't come to work today and think that I can expand someone's knowledge or their enjoyment of this industry, then I need to go do something else. But every day I'm given the ability to make that difference in someone.
I've always loved that about you, Mike. From kind of the moment I met you, you were never about the dealership you were at or that particular model you're sitting in at an event. you have always been pro industry. Like you have always been an advocate for the entire industry. I should say that you have since left Ohio in Haydocy, and you are now the general manager at North Trail RV down in Punta Gorda, right?
We're Fort Myers, but I live in Punta Gorda.
Oh, that's where I'm getting messed up. Okay, you're in Fort Myers, and you are at one of the top RV dealerships in the country. And I have to know that you make it so. The your leadership.
Yeah. I have made a good difference here. And again, like I said, if I can make the difference today, then I'm going to need to find something else to do. But I may not be the smartest person to ever walk through the doors, but no one's going to outwork me, and no one's going to make someone else's experience better, because that's my goal. If I take care of the dealership's going to take care of me. But this dealership is about 46 years old today, and we see things in a different light. We know that you need a borrower after your purchase than you do prior to. That's why we have 110 service things.
Wow.
But we're getting ready to open a 155 space campground across the street from us.
What a great
no
place
food
to
truck.
go your shakedown.
Yes, absolutely. We do not put a limit on someone's orientation, not a time. This is your time to learn all you want to learn and all you can learn. So we figured out the more knowledge we can give you, the better you're going to be. And if this dealership didn't have that attitude going in, I don't think I could have worked here. But our culture is you're to be treated like a guest in our house. And there's no exception to that. No exception.
Mike, I know you personally, so I know that's true. And I not only just know you, that's my experience with you. It's not hearsay. That's been my experience with you. So, as a dealership general manager, what are some of the specific things you're doing that sets North Trail apart?
The end experience is everything. You will find companies that will ask you all along the way for referrals and for good reviews. We believe that the actions that you display from your greeting, whether it's on the phone or on the internet, or in person on the lot, is you're either earning that or losing that from your first words.
Okay.
And you need to be more conscious of someone's wants, needs, and desires more than your need to sell that particular motorhome or travel trailer. And there are other dealers that I would give my hard-earned money to. I know a lot of bad ones, but I will never mention them. I'll never mention them to even my wife. I will not mention them. But on the other hand, you have to have that attitude going in that you are going to exceed someone's expectations. And if you fail, you need to be able to deal with having to recover what went wrong. Was it me? Was it the product? Did I fail somebody in our service area by not giving them enough education? Did I fail not educating the consumer, our guest, the proper way to operate that? We did not discourage their opportunity to have the time of their life. You've got to be thinking of that your entire process, or you will fail. You will fail to meet someone's expectations, and that's not enough in today's world, Janine. There is not enough. You need to exceed theirs, because once you exceed someone's expectations, you don't have to ask for the referral. You don't have to ask for a good review. They come on their own.
Especially in today's world, and I'm not going to name names either, but this is a long time ago, probably 10 years ago. I was out on the road, and I saw an RV dealership. And when I was driving by, I said, oh, there's that unit that I just became familiar with, and I wanted to go in and look at it. So I pulled in and I thought, oh, let me, see this thing. And I walked in, a bunch of salespeople, like at desks sitting around. And I said, oh, I work in the industry. I'm kind of interested in this unit here. I'd love to take a look at it if you have someone who could show it to me. And they said, we don't show without an appointment. All these sounds been sitting there. And I said, well, I I'm gonna write a little story on this, and well, we don't show without an appointment. And I just thought, oh my gosh, the people's expectations had been so lowered as consumers, like push one for two, push three for like, oh my gosh, someone just talked to me, and I just bought a fifth wheel in the spring, and when I went for my walkthrough, I specifically requested that I have a one-on-one walkthrough. And now I know a lot about RVs, but I never owned a fifth wheel. I never had anything this big. I never had automatic leveling. And really that walkthrough was like, push this button, do that, here's the hose. It didn't I got it to the campground and I did not know what to do. I ended up hiring someone to come out and just make sure I had everything set up right and everything. So I was very disappointed in the walkthrough, and that's something I hear from people all the time.
Well, there's manufacturers that we have that have a walkthrough guide that is mandatory to go through, and there's some that don't have any. But I'm very happy that we're aligned with companies that go to the expense of putting QR codes in an outside compartment or an inside compartment as well. That you scan that, and there's a video on how to do every single thing in that unit, that motorhome or travel trailer. And that just expands the customer experience, but it doesn't give you the hands-on in your orientation process. And that orientation process is something that this industry has failed at for a long time. When the average orientation is between a half an hour and an hour and a half, that's not enough. That's
And
not
you, to me, 100 times, it's the first time I ever heard it. You said that day it's drinking water out of a fire hose. You are taking so much in. And I used to try to record everything, but the information wasn't enough. I am glad to hear that technology today, and I spend a lot of time on YouTube figuring out little things in mine, but having that information and being able to access it means the world to the consumer.
it most certainly does. And it's
And you're
all,
not going to get it in 30 minutes.
no, no, you're not. And it's a shame that our industry fails for that. That is not enough. That's like saying, oh, you got your driver's license, here, take the car.
Yeah.
That's an asinine line of thinking, and we really need to advocate to change them. I and I think with Janine Pettit's power, you you could get
Very overrated.
you could get something done through Go RVing.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm so grateful to Go RVing. They've been a sponsor of Girl Camper for 11 years now, I think, and they've always been behind us, and we're behind them because the information they try to put out there, for consumers as the marketing arm of the RV industry is to do what you talked about, Mike. It is to up that end game experience. Okay. It's not just come in here and buy this. After you buy, and this is what Go RVing is always trying to show you, after you buy, here's some recipes, here's some campgrounds, here's some ways that you can maintain. They're constantly creating video for the consumer who's already in it because they want to keep them in it. Like you said, they want to come back and buy that second, third, fourth, because you and I have said this too. The minute you get that first RV, 1 month later, you're calculating what your next purchase is because until you own it, you really don't know what you like or don't like about it. And, so that's kind of the learning experience too. And Go RVing is always out there and they are always trying to help the consumer enjoy the lifestyle, stay in the lifestyle.
Well, um, you have lived exactly when you just spoke of. Think about back when you had your little Dire new camp, and then your Shasta, and I mean
The
your
Riverside
farm.
Metro.
Yes, your Windwire Retro. You lived back cycle. No, now you carry around the house. You You got a fifth wheel that's probably 350 square feet,
I know. That's what having grandkids does. All of a sudden you need a house on wheels. Mine is seasonal, and that's a new stage of my RVing life too. So I still have my fully restored 1963 Nomad frame off restoration. It's a beauty. I love her. That's my girl camper mobile. And then I have my 2024 Keystone bunkhouse. And then when the kids and grandkids are all down, I can pack them in. And it's on a seasonal site, and I love it as just a getaway. Like, it's an hour and 20 minutes from my house. I work from home. I get sick of these four walls, and I think going down to the camper, going to have a fire, and it's lovely. So, listen, Mike, we're going to come back because we're going to have a message from our sponsor, Curt. But then part of your work in the industry, it is the Fort Myers RV show. You're on the board there. You put that show together. I'm coming down there to speak. A lot of fun. Doing RV shows is just about my favorite job in the industry outside of creating the magazine. It is my favorite thing. I love being out there in the public and meeting people, and I can't wait to get down to your show. So we're going to be back in a minute. Here's a message from our friends at Curt.
You know that saying, work smarter, not harder? Yeah, let's do that. Introducing the QuickPin coupler from Curt. QuickPin's innovative design allows for fast, hassle-free trailer coupling with just one pin, making it easier to use than traditional couplers. That's right, that means no more fighting with jammed levers or problematic hinging components that drive you crazy. It's safe and couples securely with an included pin and clip. Just couple it, pin it, and you're done. QuickPin is made from high-strength steel and has tested weight ratings to ensure your safety. It's available to fit all standard trailer ball diameters, as well as a variety of trailer tongue beam sizes, including A-frame trailers. So tow smarter, not harder, and get on the road today with a QuickPin coupler from Curt.
Thank you, Curt. We really appreciate all you do for Girl Camper and helping people enjoy their time out there on the road. So, Mike, you finally got me. You've been asking me for years, and there always seemed to be some kind of conflict. And let me tell you, of all the people in the world, I hate saying no to you because you've been such a big part of the evolution of Girl Camper. But the Fort Myers RV show is January 23rd through the 26th. Am I getting that date? Yeah. And it is at the JetBlue Park down there. So how far is that from your dealership?
It's about 20 minutes from our dealership. And last year was the first year at that location. It had been at the Lee County Fairgrounds for such a long time, but it's in such disrepair that we needed to move the show. It is the spring training home of the Boston Red Sox. And you've done a lot of the Boston RV show.
Yeah, that was always a conflict with you guys. So,
and that's like one of the prides of your career is that show. It's a monstrous show. Right?
it's been a wonderful show. It's changed hands and changed owners now, and the other important person in my life in the RV industry is Bob Zagami. You and Bob Zagami have helped Girl Camper and helped me personally. I remember the day I was in your office and you just literally, back in the day, this is how old you and I go back, opened up your Rolodex and called the people at New Camp and said, you got to meet my friend Janine. I'm sending her over. And you just called everybody you know, and you just ushered me into an industry I knew very little about. And Bob Zagami is the same one. Bob has always done that RV show, and he's not doing it anymore. And my loyalty is to Bob and to you. So Bob is changing. He's doing new things. And that leaves me open to come down and help you. And so tell us what's going on at the show. I was online. I'm going to come and I'm going to have a booth. So you could come up and meet and talk, sign up for an event, get a free Girl Camper magazine. And I'm going to be giving some talks. And I'm going to be free to shop with people. So if you want someone to hold your hand and go shopping with you, I'm your girl.
Or that would be the ultimate experience for someone coming into the show. Yes, you're going to be in a tent with places for people to sit, and you can do many of your seminars. The 10 things your go to the 10 things to recount.
You should ask yourself before you sign. It's the number one requested talk I give.
And that's a very valuable lesson, and any reputable dealer would have no problem with those instructions because it's for the betterment of our industry. But what a beautiful facility it is down there at JetBlue Park. It's on this beautiful turf that could be a golf course. It's such a nice event there. But you will be in a tent with, uh, you know, Dexter Axles will be doing seminars as well, and GE appliances. I would love to have Curt or Lippert there, but Curt, I know they're sponsoring yours, but Curt has revolutionized things in our industry.
Okay.
Curt first brought out that wireless brake controller.
Which I have on my fifth wheel.
They are amazing. You just plug it in, and if you download Curt's app you don't have to wire your vehicle anymore.
And we talked about this. I'm sorry, I don't have that. I was thinking of their new braking system. The wireless brake controller, I remember paying several $100s to have that installed in my truck. And then if I sell my truck, it goes bye-bye with it. So this thing is so cool. Plug it in and it goes where you go.
It is. It's amazing. Lippert is always on the cutting edge as well, and I know their affiliation, but some of these things that are coming out today is phenomenal. Airstream they're trying a anti-sway axle on their classic trailers. It's got indicator lights on the side, so you see it through your mirror when it's actually deterring sway. Some of these things that have come out for the safety of this industry is just phenomenal. And on the towing side, Curt is one of the leaders in this industry. They are always on the cutting edge of technology.
Of course. And see if they want to come with me.
To do that, we'll make a space. But I've asked the best of the best that would answer my phone to come and do seminars for the betterment of our community, of our camping community. I'm also, president of the Florida RV Trade Association Region 1, which is South Florida. And I'm sure I'll see you at the Tampa show because I'm on the board of directors for that show. But, there's things that I would like your help with in asking your followers. We've got a transitional period in our user base. What are we going to do with this next group of people to help them understand this industry? The people that we haven't ever thought of, the people that have job shares, that do ride share, fractional ownership. This industry is lax in addressing how are those people going to get out, and how are those people going to be a part of the future of this industry. And that's one of the things that I would like to leave a mark on someday. I would like to go and say, this is how we need to address this next group of people. If we don't address it before they do, we're going to be way behind the eight ball.
Right. And this is a topic that Go RVing is very tuned into. So when I see you at the Florida RV show, you and I can talk about that, and then we can get a plan together, because you know what we talked about for years? I've never been able to pull it off because I still had kids at home, and it's a different world now. I'm free to roam the country, but I'd love to come down to North Trail and do a camper college there.
We would love to have one.
And if you've got the campground, when is that campground opening?
It's called Bermuda Lakes, You can look at it online. It was supposed to open a month and a half ago. We're going to try to have it open by the end of this month, if not the first week of January. It's the sun's going in, the pool is up and running. There's a gorgeous lake. There's 155 spots. And there's preserve on the lake. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It sounds like the perfect place for a camper college weekend, which is something that we have been doing. Bring everybody in to camp for a weekend. We bring teachers in, we bring people from dealerships in, and we have just like a long weekend, like a Thursday through Sunday, couple of courses in the morning, free time to play, a couple of little things in the evening, free time to play. So maybe we've got to do that there.
It would be our honor and privilege to do that.
Oh, I would love it. We'd be coming full circle, Mike.
Sure.
Tell everybody where they could go. The show is January 23rd to the 20th. Inexpensive, $10 tickets and free parking.
That is correct. And it is every deal, every dealer there will have feedback coupons. So if you go and you can't make up your mind and want to come back the next day, it's free to come back. With every dealer can give you one. There's entertainment. There's a DJ at times, but food is there on the grounds. It is open from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day, and we have a lot of free clinics. All of the vendors that we asked to be there, and I hope you can talk Curt into being there. But all the vendors that we asked to be there are there to help educate our users. It's not just to buy a new trailer. It's not just to see what's the latest and greatest in this motorhome. It's also to help you with what you currently have.
Yeah, it's educational. And we find that so much to be true, Mike. It's interesting. We just did an event in New Jersey, and Mike Sokol came out and gave a talk on electric, and he was so shocked by how much the Gur campers knew. He thought he was going to give, like entry level. But these women knew a lot, and they wanted to know more. It was supposed to be a 1.5-hour talk. At the 3-hour mark, we had to put the cap on it because we had to get out of the space that we were in. But what we have discovered is when you bring the information to people, they are so grateful for it. And we know that you go out and you buy the RV. You use it for a year, you have as many questions at that 1-year mark. Like, I just had someone come in my camper, like, I don't know where this noise is coming. There was a humming noise. It was driving me out of my mind, like a cricket in the camper, but it was just a hum. I unplugged the thing from the post, and the hum was still there. It was a speaker, and it was running on solar when I had it unplugged. So it was running on battery power. I could not shut the thing up, and I figured out when it was. But when you've been using your RV for like a year or so, now you want to know, is this something I could do? Should I do this? Should I invest in a Dragonfly battery? Should I upgrade this? Like, how are you using the trailer? So those seminars are not just for newbies.
No. And there's so many people think, well, I want to go to lithium. And that's why I asked Dragonfly to be there, because they're kind of the innovators of RV lithium, right? Well, a lot of people think, well, I can just put these 2 lithium batteries in where the lead acid ones go, but you can't. You need a battery management system. You need a lithium battery that's got a built-in heater because, at 32 degrees, they do not want to charge. You have to have an internal heater, and you have to have something manage that.
You're going to need solar.
Correct. So, there's a lot of misconceptions that could save a lot of people a lot of money by just attending this event for the education.
I did not know that. I did not know you needed a warmer for a lithium battery and that you couldn't just swap out a lead cell for a lithium. So I shouldn't have. So thank you for that. Well, Mike, I'm heading down there. I can't wait. You and I are going to figure out what my talks are going to be, but I'm going to give you my favorites. And if that's what we want to do, we'll do them. But I want all my listeners to know if you're in Florida, I met so many of you last year at the Florida RV show. I'll be at that, but then I'm staying down there to visit my friend Mike and go to this show. I would love to help you shop. There's some great dealers there. General RV, I love General RV. They've been longtime champions of Girl Camper, helped
Yep.
us way in the beginning. Blue Compass is down there. North Trail is down there. So I'm expecting that we're going to see RVs in all kinds of sizes and ranges.
You will. You'll see them from everything from about 10 feet to 43 feet. So,
And we do appreciate that. And not to net the Florida Super Show, but it's mega trailers, and the girl campers are always grateful when they get to a show and there's some smaller options there.
yep, that is, the Tampa Super Show is, I mean, that's the largest you're going to find of the biggest area. That's a manufacturer show that has dealers man the units for them. This is the largest Florida show that is a dealer show.
Yeah.
And the ironic thing is you still have just as many manufacturers attend this show.
I was going to say,
Dealers
they'll still be there.
will. They most certainly will.
Well, I am so looking forward to it, Mike. Looking forward to seeing you in person. Love seeing you and your beautiful family online. You're a wonderful husband and dad and friend to all who know you. And so can't wait to give you a big girl camper hug and see you in person and then start planning our takeover of the RV world there.
All we need to do.
Okay. Mike, thanks so much for coming on the show today. Thank you, everyone, for coming. We want to thank our sponsors, Lippert and Curt. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook. Like and share this show. Give us a download. We're everywhere. Don't forget to go over to girlcamper.com and read some of our fun articles. And don't forget to subscribe to Girl Camper Magazine. Thanks, everybody. It's been great seeing you. Happy trails.